Hey guys, good morning, everybody. It's happy Friday. Today's Friday, August 4th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 9 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium and we should be good to go. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make the way in, guys. Looks like people are still joining in right now. And then we'll get started shortly. Send this one more place. All right, just posting this one more place and we should be good to go. All right, guys, morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, Friday, August 4th. It is 6:25 right now. Market's going to open in about 5 minutes. Today's NFP, obviously, you guys can see the crazy movement here in the market. This is a good and bad thing. It's a good thing because we have a lot of volatility here, which is what we want. Bad thing because the market is moving kind of crazy. But the good thing about this is that the market should stabilize and it'll start moving, normally as market opens. So hopefully in the next 5 minutes, we'll get another crazy push. And then from there, we'll have some stabilization where we can start looking for some entries. So let's check out the NFP news for today. So the NFP news today was negative. So it was a bit of a mix. We average hourly earnings went up slightly. NFP change was negative. That means that, jobs went down and whatnot. Unemployment rate is up or is down just 0.1%. Not really a big difference, but it was a little bit more negative than expected. This is normal because we are technically going into a recession, or we're technically in a recession right now. So we're already expecting the jobs data not to be so great. However, you can see over here that price actually, and there's no other news for today except for 10 o'clock. So I'm just going to mark up NFP at 5:30. But you can see over here that price kind of dropped initially when NFP came out, and then it corrected right back up. So the only news that we have today to mark up would be this NFP news right here at 5:30. You guys can see how crazy market moves right there. And that's pretty much it. There's no other news for today. So with that said, I'm going to go over here and mark up liquidity. So I'm going to start off with a weekly time frame using the high-low indicator. So we got a zone right there. right there, right there, right there, right there. So you guys can see how easy it is to mark up these areas of liquidity if you guys have my high-low indicator. A lot of people try to do this by hand. It is possible, but it's very easy to mess up and mark up the wrong, the wrong zones. So you guys can see right here, I'm marking it up. It only takes me like a few minutes, or maybe even just a minute, depends on how many zones there are. All right, let's get right there on the 4 hour, 2 hour. I mean, a lot of these zones are going to be irrelevant because price is so far from them, and I highly doubt they'll be touched, but always good to have them just marked up just in case. All right, down to the 30-minute, we're not going to change colors and mark these as low level liquidity. Down to the 10-minute. All right, so we pretty much got all liquidity marked up right there, down to the 1 minute. So the closest level of liquidity is going to be right above right here. It's going to be a high level liquidity, which will be right there. So yeah, if you're looking for this right here, I mean, you can probably go for like, pretty decent push right there. That's the closest level of liquidity. There's one down below too, but it's pretty far. So I'm not expecting that to get hit anytime soon. I'll set that to 100. Yeah, closest level of liquidity is going to be right there at the 300 mark. Market's going to open in about 50 seconds, guys. I'll leave that marked up right there if you guys want to follow it. And then, we'll see what happens here when market opens. Other than that, retail sentiment is currently 74% short. Fundamentals are currently up 84 points. So it's a bit of a mixed bag right now with regard to overall bias. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where this ends up going. If this liquidity comes up right here, I might attempt to get a piece of it. Maybe for 100 pips. I don't know if I'll go for the full 300, but if that does hit, there's a lot of liquidity sitting right there. So it's probably gonna hit the level, go to the next level. And then, but again, like I mentioned yesterday, guys, if you guys are going for liquidity, try to go for one level. Don't go for like multiple levels at once. Just go for one level. And then from there, wait for the next level to get hit or look for a retest. Sorry, guys, market is now open. You guys can see prices kind of bouncing around a bit and see if it pushes up and hits that level of liquidity. I mean, we'll see. Price has been pushing a bit. It's a bit overextended, but I do think, eventually price does push up to that point. It'll probably break through and make its way up there. All right, so it's not really pushing up yet, but it'll probably push up eventually. So let's see who's here so far in the room. So morning Talanji, morning Dan, morning Maria, morning James, morning Shannon, morning Johnny, morning Ben Harway, morning Kaner, morning Patricia, morning Kenny, morning Daniel, morning Vince, morning everybody, morning CJ. Kaner, did you get your trading view fixed? I know you got an issue with it earlier. Hopefully you got it fixed. If not, you can just trade directly on Trade and I mean, that should be okay to help you too. I think we'll see where this ends up going through. All right, so I took the push right here, guys, for the liquidity, full TP right there. If you guys took it, great work. If you guys didn't, I mentioned it. If it pushes up here, it's going to be a good level. That's why I put it for 300 pips, not 100, because you can see all the levels right here. So I took the trade there, just like I said I was going to. I said if price pushes through, I'm going to enter this. I only went for 100 pips, though. I forgot to make adjustments to my TP stop loss. I had it set to 200, 100 is actually really tight. I haven't even set to 250. So yeah, liquidity right there went to full TP. If you guys can see, I'll send my profits in for that. And that was a solid move. So there goes that move right there. I'm going to go and put this up right there. So I haven't really taken the liquidity push in a while, but I took it right there on my MC4. I didn't take it on my trade base. I took it on my MC4. It just happened too quick. I couldn't set the pending order there for it to fill. But yeah, I mean, it went straight through right there. And I'll take a screenshot of my accounts. Hopefully my other accounts. Let me see this. And you know what? I don't think my personal account can handle. I'm going to take my Henkel off, guys. Unfortunately, it does not look like it can handle scalping. I thought it would be able to, but unfortunately it can't. You guys will see all my profits here. I actually got a lot of slippage in my favor off that trade, but my Henkel account still gave me -$2. I think the fees might be too, there's something is up, like the fees are too high or spreads too wide. I don't know what's up with Henkel. I haven't used Henkel in a long time. So I'm probably going to transfer my money out of that account and use some other, or I might not even trade my personal account because it's obviously not working. So let me put my profits over here for that trade. And these are like 100K accounts now. They're no longer 200K accounts. You can see that the slippage was actually really good. So here's my first account, and I'll take individual screenshots as well. It's kind of hard to see here, but if you guys are in the group, you guys can see over here that I locked in a lot of profit. And this is and once I take the individual screenshot, you guys will see that this was off a 100 lot. So definitely made a lot more than anticipated. So there are my profits right there. I'll take individual screenshots. I'm kind of done with this right here for now. There's other levels of liquidity. So if you are following it, there's more levels right here for the 100, which is right there. That one already just got hit. The next level right here. And then there's another level that's currently running right now, the red one. And then again, there's another one right there above it running again as well. Or not yet, but looks like it's trying to get up there. So all right, I'm gonna leave this alone right now. I'm not taking any more liquidity. I typically only like to take one on open. Now we'll take a look at the main chart over here and see if we can find some. We got to wait for the market to stabilize a bit. 635 right now. So once it stabilizes a little more, we'll start looking for any possible entries. But right now it's still kind of moving around a little crazy. So you might want to wait for some stabilization. Basically, right here on the 1 minute, you want to look for price to retrace down. And then once it retraces down, then look for the correction back up. Over here on the 5 minute, I mean, it's a big range though. It's like a 34 ATR. So if you're looking for something here, I mean, depending on where this candle closes, entry might be over here at the, it still has 3 minutes left and it has a lot of time actually. So we'll come back to that in a few. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of my individual accounts that you guys, I have a lot of accounts now. So there's going to be a lot of different profits that are going to be posted. Kenneth over here took the level as well, caught it for 100 pips, let it ride, and made a pretty good profit on that, Kenneth. Marie over here caught it as well. And nice, Kaner caught it as well. Vince caught it. A lot of you guys here caught it. So great work right there, guys, catching that liquidity push. I'm going to go ahead and take individual screenshots. I have a lot of accounts and the accounts are all different. So I can't just take one screenshot. I got to take multiples. So, let me start off with my first one. This is going to take some time, but it's okay because we don't have any entries right now. So Here's my first account. I wish there was a quick way to do it, but it's all good. Yeah, literally all of my accounts have different profits because that liquidity push is pretty strong. Hey, Marcin, how's it going? Morning. My MFFs are the same though. It's crazy. You guys will see my FTMOs and my MFFs are all different. I don't know how MFF is like literally exactly the same. Everything else is different though. It's all right. Price is starting to consolidate here a bit. This is a good thing because once price is done consolidating, it's going to start pushing again, right? So this is what we were waiting for. Price is ranging, consolidating within this area right here. And then once it starts to push up or down, we can start looking for some possible entries. We do need to see some retracement though before we can start looking for any entries here. So closed up. All my accounts here. And I think I'm going to take the Hank off the account because it's just not working. All right, so here are my profits. Here's the trade that we took right there for the liquidity push. Here is my first account. You can see the green strip. This means that I hit my full TP. This is my main master account on FTMO. This is a 100K account. I only took 100 lots. This is my usual 200 lots. So I made 1,660 on my first account. This is my main one. Here's my second FTMO account, total profit of 2,060. A lot of slippage there in my favor. Here's my third FTMO account, total profit of 1,560. Still good slippage because I was only supposed to make 1,000 on this trade. Here's my fourth MFF, another double slippage right there, total profit of 2,360. It worked out perfect for me on all my accounts because now I'm pretty much back in a profit for the week. Well, I was already in profit, but now I'm like deeper in profit. And then here goes my MFF number one, even some slippage here. Surprisingly, I was only supposed to make 1,000, made 1,500. My second MFF, 1,510. And then my MFF number three, total profit of 1,510. So pretty good trade right there. I mean, we just took that liquidity push and I locked in some pretty good profit across all my accounts. As you guys can see here, I'm trading about 7 separate accounts now for my funding accounts. And then I added my personal account, which I locked in a negative $2.14. This is the same thing that happened a couple of days ago when I made a full TP. So I think I might just take off the personal account. So this is the reason why I tell a lot of people that I can't trade personal accounts, because not all brokers are going to be able to scalp but they're not going to be able to handle the way that we scalp here. The spread's kind of wide, fees are kind of high. It's not really worth the risk. I mean, I made all this profit here and then I still made negative on the slippage was perfect for every account, but my Henko account still gave me a negative, right? So I'm probably going to take that account off of my list. Or I'll take one more trade. If it ends up doing the same thing again, then I'm going to take it off. There's just no point for me to use. James is asking, do you have any futures brokers for personal capital? I would probably use Tradeovate because that's what we've been using over here for other trades. So I would use Tradeovate. I mean, whatever is available here on TradingView. There's Tradeovate, there's TradeStation, there's AMP. Those are the 3 main ones. So if you want to trade on TradingView, and you want to use a personal account for futures, I would use TradeStation or Tradeovate first, of course. That'd be number 1 because I'm using it and I actually like it. TradeStation and AMP. That's pretty much the 3 main ones. Whatever is compatible with TradingView, I would use, because you can trade directly on TradingView if you want to use a personal account. All right, guys. So other than that, there's no entries for us right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark up the thing here, let's see, James said, yeah, TradeAway is my favorite. Was worried about the issue people had with. So the thing with TradeAway is you can just trade directly on TradeAway. So if you trade directly on TradeAway, it'll still show up on your trading view. So if you have two screens, you just exit your pending positions on TradeAway, and then it'll show up on here. Once we have an intro over here, you'll see how I do it. James, this is basically how I'm doing it. I'm not doing it any differently. I'm doing it just as I said, like I'm not trading directly on TradingView just right now. For the time being, I'm not trading directly on TradingView because of the obvious issues, but I will be trading on it once it starts working again. It's going to work eventually because TradeAway's they're a reliable broker. Like they're not some new broker. They've been around for a while. Also, the issue isn't with TradeAway. The issue is with the connectivity on TradingView. So I think it's an issue with TradingView. And it's something that should be resolved pretty soon because TradingView is pretty quick about fixing things and having updates set up. Yeah, James said, oh, it's much nicer. It saves worrying about lag and nice to see it still shows on TradingView. Yeah, definitely, James, 100%. And they the thing with trading with TradingView is they exit when price gets to your point. Like, sometimes you're trading on MC4, price will hit your TP and you're still in the position. You're like, what's going on? Because the spread's so wide. But if you trade directly with TradeAway, if it hits your price, you're out and you make full profit on it. You're going to pay some fees to get out of that position, but you're going to be out of the position. You're not going to get caught in spread. There's like no spread when you're trading with a futures broker like TradeAway. It says like a 1 point spread, but like 1 point is like nothing. Let's see. Andrew said pullback hit at 642. Oh yeah, right here. So price retraced back, came down to the 60 level, and then it went straight to TP. Yeah, if you're applying the multiple entries per momentum, I'm just gonna stay on the 1 minute, guys. The 5 minutes, it's too far out, so I don't think there's gonna be any entries there. But this is the entry that Andrew just mentioned. So price pushed up right here. We had a retracement on this candle. Entry would have happened at this level. That's where the entry would have came down, pretty much snagged the entry, and then it went straight up for a full TP. We need to get a retracement momentum signal here in order for me to take entry. As you guys know, I take one entry per momentum. Right here, this one's already been used up. You can take multiple entries per momentum if you like, but for me personally, I like taking one per momentum because I like having quality entries. So what I need here is I need a sell signal to come up to confirm the retracement, and then I need a buy signal to come up to confirm the continuation. And once it comes back down for retracement, that's where I will make my entry up there. So it's just a matter of patience, guys. We're just going to wait for this to play out, come back and provide entry for us. But right now, there's just nothing for us to take right now at the moment specifically. The ATR is pretty high. It's currently at 21 right now, 23. So that's a good thing. As long as it stays above 15, that's a good thing for us. Today is NFP, so you want to be a little careful with your entries here. Here goes the other liquidity push. So basically all the levels of liquidity got hit. First level over here for 300 pips, next level is over for 100 pips, this one 100 pips, this one 100 pips, and then there's going to be another level over here probably going to hit soon. A little later, it might not hit right now, but eventually it's probably going to come up and hit. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of liquidity right here. 6 levels actually is another level above. It's 2 levels above. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels of liquidity, higher and higher as price continues to climb. I'm not going to take this liquidity here anymore. I personally don't like taking any liquidity aside from the first level unless it's like a really, really good level. I don't know what level this is, but it's blue, so it's got to be a strong level. I just don't know how strong, right? It can be a 1 hour, it can be a 2 hour, it can be a 4 hour, it can be a daily. I don't know. So it's hard for me to tell since I didn't label them, but it is a blue level. So if you guys want to take it, I would still probably only go for 100 pips. There you go. You just hit right there. Looks like it's going to hit CP. Yeah, Andrew said he might take it on the second touch, but it's probably going to blast right through on this one, Andrew. Yep. Looks like it's going to go right through. And it did. So no second touch right there, guys. It's all good. So depending if you guys took this right here, you guys can see all the levels here. I marked this up before market open. So I marked up this first level. A lot of people caught it right there and went straight through. This one over here went straight through. This one went straight through. They all went straight through. Like pretty solid entries all throughout. So this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. Like this took me like 1 minute to mark on all the levels, right? If you guys have my high low indicator, you guys can do this your own. Like you can do it yourself. It doesn't take very long. There's another level right here, but I'm not going to take this, of course. This is too it's definitely overextended at this point. For this one over here, you might want to wait for the second touch. If you guys remembered how I mentioned earlier, guys, don't go for the one directly after. You just go for one at a time, wait for price to retrace back, consolidate, and on the second touch or third touch, then go in for the next entry. But don't try to climb them all at once, because that's where it gets really risky, because you start to get greedy and then you start to make some bad decisions there. Price has to pull back at some point. It can't just keep pushing up forever, right? Kenneth said that was a 2-hour zone. Nice work, Kenneth. Yeah, thanks for the heads up right there. That CJ caught it, Kenny caught it, Kainer caught it, Kenneth caught it. Nice work, guys. All right, so solid work right there. I'm still waiting for the retracement here. Once we get that retracement, we can start looking for a possible entry. But again, we're not going to force anything here. Just got to be patient. I feel like when people force things, that's where you start to make the biggest mistakes, right? You just have to be patient and wait for these entries here to come up. Looking over here at everyone's profits. Let's see, we have Maria over here, total profit of 315. Nice work, Maria. Great profit right there. We have Andreas over here, total profit of 1,080 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. Full TPs right there. Nice green strips. Solid work right there. We got Barty over here, said he closed his terminal, took some profits right there on the trade as well. Total profit of 1,423 for the day. Nice work, Barty. You guys are doing great. We got Patricia over here, total profit of 1,860 on her first account, total profit of 1,510 on her second account, and a total profit of 1,664 on her third account. Nice work, Patricia. Yeah, Patricia said most likely done for the day. Same here, Patricia. I might be done on my MT4. I might keep trading on my top step though. So I might take like one trade on my top step, but for the most part, I'm gonna probably sit on my MT4. I'm doing pretty solid with them. So here is C6 profits, first account total profit of 2,865. Nice work, C6. C6 second account over here, total profit of 3,015. All wins there as well. Nice work, C6. And then C6, actually C6 just reposted his profits. Let me just delete these. C6 just made a little more, it looks like. All right, so here's C6's first account, total profit of 3,115. All wins here. Nice. C6 caught the momentum pullback scalp. Second account over here, total profit of 3,665. All wins here as well. And then here goes C6's third account, total profit of 4,665. All wins here. So nice work, C6. C6 just caught that last momentum scalp pullback, and then just pretty much added on to his profits. We have CERN over here, total profit of 1,432 for the day. All wins. Nice work, CERN. Looks like he caught a lot of the liquidity pushes and then some of those momentum pullback scalps. So nice work right there, CERN. Solid work. And we have Vincent over here, total profit of 305 for the day. Nice work, Vincent. Vincent said, I don't know why my TP level, it hit my TP level, but didn't give me the green strip. Also set my entry to 35,332, but it got him in at 35,335. Yeah, it's kind of slippage. Yeah, slippage. Yeah, that was a lot of slippage on that move earlier. We got some more profits over here from Shannon. Shannon locked in a total profit of, nice, 865 on her first account, 221 on her second account, 265 on her third account, and a total profit of 935 on her fourth account right here. Nice work, Shannon. Solid work right there. We have Johnny over here, total profit of 762 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Johnny. And then we've got Shannon over here on her other account, total profit of 2,292 for the day. All wins. So nice work right there, Shannon. All right, you guys are doing great. Looking over here at the charts, guys, we're not missing out on anything. Prices are tracing down like we were anticipating. We're looking for that sell signal. Sell signal has not closed yet. So once it closes, we'll start looking for, possible opportunity here for entry. Right here, we have a pending sell signal. So if this closes here and then we get a buy signal after, that's going to confirm our direction and we can start looking for buys. But right now, we still don't have any of that available at this very moment. So it's got to be patient, guys. I feel like the biggest problem with a lot of people is just being patient, right? You guys see some move there and you try to hop in and then it ends up being a horrible decision. So if you guys could just be patient and disciplined, wait for the entry to come to you, you should be perfectly fine. So I'm not forcing anything here. I'm like, it wouldn't matter because there's no opportunity for entry here anyways. So that's a good thing about having a system-based approach. If you have a system to follow, like for me here, right? I mentioned we need a sell signal, then we need a buy signal, we need a push in that direction and a retracement. So there's no way that I could enter any trade here until I even get to like maybe the third or fourth step. So there's nothing for me to do here. I'm just waiting for the sell signal to come up. Once there goes the sell signal. Now that this has come up, I'm now looking for a buy signal, right? Once I get the buy signal over here, then I can start looking for the next step. So when you have that systematic approach, it really helps with staying consistent because you're not just entering random trades. You're waiting for the trades to set up and to provide you entry. And that's the reason why I don't really lose too many trades because I have to actually wait for this stuff to happen. Unless like something like yesterday happened where I got FOMO and I ended up entering before that, it played out. It's just a case of trade psychology right there, of horrible trade psychology at the time. Let's see, Rashida said if the 5-minute closes with a reaction, would it be a 5-minute entry? Let me check. I thought I drew this here, but it's all good. Let me just draw the levels here again. 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 80, 90. All right, let's see. So Rashida is mentioning, yeah, so if this here closes, then entry would be at the next level. So depending on where it closes, it's either going to be right there or it's going to be on the other level. ATR right now is currently 36. I'm not going to take this 5-minute entry here, but I'll follow it for you guys. So the thing is, I like the 5-minute, but the problem with the 5-minute is that the volatility isn't very stable, right? The more like, I think the 5-minute might be a lot better during the fall when the market's actually moving very more volatile. The problem with the 5-minute is that you can take the trade and then you'll be flat for like a good, couple hours. Like this trade's gonna take forever to hit. So, all right, so the entry would have happened right here, Rashid, if you wanted to take it. Or actually, let's see where it closed at. I hate when it closes on the line because when it closes on the line, it's hard to tell if you would enter up there or down here. So I probably would have entered down here. This is where the entry would have gone filled because it closed too close to the line. So it looks like it's currently running in profit. I'll follow with you guys. I'm not in the position, so I'm not going to count this trade, of course, but you guys can see the problem with this here is that the volatility is not consistent. If you trade it in the fall or like when the market's actually moving, all the charts are moving typically for that whole hour, right? Right now, the market's it's moving, but it's not moving very quickly. You can see the ATR over here on the 1-minute is even dying down as well. It's kind of slow. Yeah, exactly. So Rashida said that pending sell signal. It's a no for me. Yeah, exactly. So if you start to see a pending sell signal, the thing is, so that's a problem too with the 5-minute, Rashida. I wasn't looking at this big candle right here, and I'm pretty sure there was probably a pending sell signal on this candle right here, right? It probably came up, disappeared, and then it came up again on this candle. If that's the case and you get a pending signal, that's also a big red flag for me. So that's another problem with the 5-minute time frame is that I don't necessarily watch the 5-minute time frame at all times, and I don't know when the signal's coming up, right? On the 1-minute, you can kind of see it. Like when you're watching it, you'll see it kind of push through. And you'll kind of know, like, if there's a pending signal, you're like, okay, I could probably just skip this one if it ends up closing on the next one. And good thing you skip the trade, Rashid, because look what's happening here. Another thing that I think should be taken into consideration on the 5-minute, which I don't really take into consideration in the past, was something that Madhu mentioned. I don't know if Madhu's here. Yeah, he's here. So he mentioned yesterday that, well, not yesterday, but a couple of days ago, like how do I identify when price is overextended on the 5-minute, or if I do take that into consideration? I typically don't take it into consideration because lately the market's just been kind of smooth and going straight up. But in a situation like this is actually a good idea, like what Madhu mentioned. So I think for the 5-minute, because it's on a higher time frame, overextension should be taken into consideration. It doesn't have to be at 1,000 pips, but it can be closer to like maybe 1,500 pips or 2,000. So if you were to measure this from down here, from this low point up to here, you can see that price has pushed up about 2,700 pips, right? It's obviously overextended at that point, so I wouldn't have messed with it. Now that prices are retracing down, so you're basically looking for the restart. So price pushed up right here when it retraced down. If this now pushes up from this point and it gives you an entry at this point, then okay, maybe I'll take an entry right there. So thanks to Madhu for basically giving us the heads up on that, because I didn't really think about looking at overextension. The 1 minute doesn't matter too much because this thing's always bouncing back and forth and the move's a lot smaller. But on the 5-minute, it makes sense. And on the higher time frames, yeah, you should probably look for overextension. Here we go, as price comes back to open. Thanks, Surin and Drew, for mentioning that. Yeah, it's literally coming right back to open, or actually it did already. So if you guys have been following me for years now, you guys know that this is our magnet, right? Our opening price, that blue line. Price pushed up, came right back down, back to open, and then now it bounces right off it. Let's go over here to the clean chart. So I'm going to go to markup 630. I'm going to mark up structure here so that you guys can see where market's going, or where it's been going for the day so far. So we got this right here, our level, lower level. That's pretty much it right there. You guys can see the balance. So, I mean, the market's been doing this pretty much every day, right? It's crazy how like similar the market's been moving. If you guys look at this, pretty much how this moves through. I mean, this is how it's been going every day this week. It kind of pushes away, comes back, and it just bounces in between the opening price. So that's why I like having a clean chart here, because you guys can see things a lot better. There's nothing on the chart, so you can see that the range here. I wish I kept my drawings up from yesterday, but if you look at my drawings from like pretty much every day this week, this is the pattern that's been playing out. So if this is the case, then price might just continue to go back and forth again like it did yesterday. My guess is that it might go back up even further and possibly retest the higher level here, but I mean, we'll see if that ends up being the case. If that's the case, then fine, we'll start looking for an entry over here, but we don't have that yet. But you guys can see the structure over here, not really too much going on. This thing's super messy. It's gonna make some adjustments here. Pull this back a bit so you don't see the mess. All right, so yeah, if you guys are looking for the retest, private comes back up right there. Let's see, Kenny said, looks like YM is following NQ at the moment. Let's see. We can take a look at that. There's nothing going on right now, so. I mean, kind of. So Kenny over here mentioned that YM is following NQ. I don't think so, because so NQ is dropping pretty heavy right now, but YM, I mean, it looks like YM is like a little farther away, right? Because it looks like if it was just this part right here, it would be matching Kenny. Right here, like if you're just looking at this part right here and that part, yeah, it looks like it might be matching a little bit, but it looks like NQ super far down. So Kenny brought this up the other day, like, using NQ as a confluence. If you guys see a pattern there, go ahead and use the confluence. There's nothing stopping you from, if it's helping you with your trades and your confluences, use it, great. But just from my experience, I don't really see any sort of confluence here with these two. Like, yeah, this week it was moving the same because price is pushing up right here, but everything else before that was kind of like different. And today's like a little different too. But yeah, if it works, Kenny, keep using it. Don't let me discourage you from using NQ, because if that's the case and it helps you with your analysis, use it. Whatever helps you guys. If it's something that I use, if it's something that I don't use, like, don't let that change your thought process. Like, use what works for you. We can keep coming back to it, Kenny. I'll leave this chart open right here and we'll see, but it looks very different to me. Maybe if you have nothing on the chart, it might look similar, but from like what I see right here, it looks like completely different to me. Let me just take everything off the chart. Maybe if we have nothing on there. No, they still look pretty different to me. Personally, that's just how I see it. But I'm very particular with like how it moves. So, I might be a little stickler when it comes to direction of price. Yeah, because let's see if we have S&P. So let's do ES over here. I mean, ES isn't even moving similar to US30 either. ES is actually moving closer to NQ than like, these are more similar, ES and NQ. They probably have the same stocks in their index, but I think YM right now is like very different compared to both of them. But yeah, if you want to use it, Kenny, keep using it. Don't let me discourage you from coming up with your own ideas. Because the thing is, like, I know how to trade my way. So that's the way that's what I want to remind you guys. I know how to trade my way, but there's like hundreds of ways to trade out there. So if you guys find your own process and your own way of trading, keep working on it. Don't let anybody have you think otherwise. The thing I hate the worst is when people like try to put down other strategies. I think like some of the biggest people, like people who follow ICT, you guys already know how those people are, right? They're so linear. They think linear and they don't really like accept any other thoughts. They just think there's one way to trade. Those are the worst kind of people to be friends with. Don't be friends with anybody like that. If you guys trade with anybody and all they do is put down their strategy, or they tell you it doesn't work, or they try to argue with you about everything, those are the people you don't want to trade with, because they're just going to they're going to confuse you even more than you're already confused. So when you guys are trading, always have a open mind and, do what works for you. Like, my way of trading here obviously works. I've been trading like this live for years now. So obviously it works. But it doesn't work for everybody. It works for me. It doesn't necessarily work for everybody. But you'll never see me put down somebody else's strategy, right? If you tell me something, I'm not going to say like, oh, that doesn't work, because I know it could work. There's a ton of ways to trade here. Like, for example, we trade in the direction of trend. There's certain people who trade counter trend, right? That works too, but it just depends on the person, right? You need your trade psychology to really have thick skin to like really go into some massive drawdown and still come up in profit. If you're counter trend trading, I've been a counter trend trader in the past. It's not fun. Counter trend trading is not fun because you're going to lose a lot. But when you have those big strides, you're gonna like it a lot. Like, for example, here I could already see some counter trend traders. Like the trend here is bullish, right? So obviously we're looking for a buy here. I know a strategy that could have been applied here for a counter trend, right? Because you can see our price got to this top point. What I would have done here is I would have probably had like a pending sell order waiting at this low level right here. So when price came down, I would have took this to the way down. I mean, there's different ways of applying it, but yeah, there's nothing right now, guys. So for my specific way of trading, we're still waiting for, actually, no, okay. So price is shifting to the downside. So we can actually look for sells now. We just need to look for the retracement. So we got a sell momentum here. We have price below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down. We can see price coming down right here. At this time, we just need to wait for price to retrace up, and we can look for a possible sell entry here. So that's the thing that I like about this momentum pullback scalp is that we can make adjustments and we can shift with the market pretty easily. We don't have to be stuck with looking for a bias. We just wait for price to shift to the downside, and then from there we can start looking for entries, right? Which is basically what we're doing here. Price looks a bit overextended now, so we might want to be a little careful with entry here. Let me measure this real quick. Yeah, price is down over 1,000 pips, so you want to be careful with entry here. If any entry. This thing's starting to tumble down right here. Yeah, Andrew said probably a fake out. CERN said might go back to news price. Yeah, Daniel said now it looks more like NQ after it dumped. Same. Yeah, just from this area right here, right? Now it's starting to look like it. All right, so price is a bit overextended right here. So what I'll do here is I'll mark up the entry. I'm probably not going to take this one though. So there's a possible entry right here for, it looks like it's going to hit too. This was the retracement that we were looking for. So price pretty much came down. This is the first entry off the sell signal because nothing else came up over here. We had a sell signal, price came below. They trended and confirmed and sell like way later. And it looks like it hit TP already right there. Yeah. So this actually would have been the entry that we were looking for. You guys can see it's kind of an iffy entry. It's not really a clean one right there. I don't even know if it filled. I mean, it looks like it should have filled, but yeah, I mean, it looks like it filled and went straight to the TP, but it wasn't a very strong push. And there you go with the full TP right there. So unfortunately, guys, I missed this entry right here. It was just too risky of an entry for me. You know, generally, I don't like when price just drops super heavily. I like when price comes down a little bit and then it kind of retraces and it comes down further and it retraces and comes down. Right here was just a straight drop. So as soon as the trend here shifted, it just went straight down. So, I mean, if you guys wanted to take a trade, that would be the entry because price came down right here. As I mentioned, we only look for one entry per momentum, right? So this sell signal right here didn't have an entry till here. This is the first time there's an entry because the trend meter turned red right here. There was no retracement. Retracement happened right here. That's where it would have filled and would have went straight to TP. So if you guys caught it, great work. If you guys didn't, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. There's no need to really force anything right now, right? This is like one of those times where, I mean, another thing that's on my shoulder is that it's NFP. If today wasn't NFP, if it was just a regular Friday, I would maybe take this entry here. But the problem is that it's Friday, which is already risky. And then on top of that, it's NFP. So if you guys have not traded NFP before, NFP is like one of the highest manipulated days in the trading month. Just the week in general. If you guys have been trading with me all week, you guys have seen that there's not been very smooth movements, you know, all throughout the week. We've had a lot of choppiness, a lot of irregular movements, and a lot of ranging. So if you go over here back to the clean chart, let me go and draw the next structure down there. You guys can see that there's not really much of a direction here. So you can see this is pretty much the same thing that happened over the past couple of days. I think price will now correct back up and it'll probably shoot right back to opening price from where it's at now. This is kind of what, there's like basically two levels here, right? Price pushed up, faked out right here, came back to retest opening price down the middle, broke below, faked out right here. Now it's going to push right back up. So I wouldn't be surprised if price pushes back up and it goes back and retests, you know, opening price right there. And then it just ends up ranging within like this area here, right? It's just a mess. It's a mess with like how things are going to move here, but this is normal. It's normal for Friday. For one, Friday's already a risky day. So like during the week, guys, you guys know Mondays and Fridays are typically the riskier days to trade because on Friday, people are exiting the market for the weekend. On Monday, people are entering the market from the weekend. With today being NFP, it's even riskier because you already have the risk of it being Friday. And then on top of that, you have another risk of it being NFP. NFP price is down here. So price is probably trying to come down and retest this area. So with price pushing up right here, we have a buy signal. We want to look for another sell signal to follow it. So we're looking for buy signal, then sell signal. And then once we have that, we can look for another opportunity for a sell. So I don't care if the signal closes valid, invalid, whatever it may close with the buy signal. We need a buy signal though to confirm the retracement. Once we confirm that retracement, we can look for the next entry. Let's see, Andrew said retail keeps climbing. So retail sentiment is now at 75%. Yeah, it's climbing back up. See where this ends up going to. But yeah, right now there's just no opportunity for entry. And again, you guys got to remember that it's summer season. So there's just so many factors here that are factoring the market, which makes the market a bit risky and unpredictable. For one, it's Friday. Two, it's NFP. And three, it's summer season. So you got low volatility, plus you have random spikes from NFP, plus you have random spikes from it being Friday, because eventually people are going to sell off, right? It's 7 o'clock right now. It's still kind of early, but eventually people are going to sell off and get out of the market before the weekend. So you're going to get like some random spikes of volatility, usually towards the end, but they can happen during the day too. Like if a big firm is expecting to just close out early today, then they might just sell off their positions, or they might buy into positions depending on like where they expect price to go. Let me take a look at the fundamentals right now. So here's the crazy thing. You guys can see that NFP is it's still positive right now. Or no, sorry, not NFP. NQ is positive right now with regard to the fundamentals, but you can see it's dumping over here still super heavily. So NQ opened over here at 630, right? Like way up here, and it's still positive. It's actually higher than a lot of the other ones, higher than S&P, it's higher than the Dow, or not really the Dow, but the S&P right here, but it is still dropping super heavily. So, I mean, other than, I don't know what's causing the drops for those there, but yeah, because I didn't check the news this morning, so I wasn't sure if there was anything else that, yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's like in Airbnbs, but like Airbnbs are doing like really, really bad lately. Like especially in our area over here. I haven't used an Airbnb, and I can't remember when the last time I booked an Airbnb. I like staying in hotels because I just like the hotel experience versus being in an Airbnb. But I don't know if like you guys have been following Airbnb. They've like it's been getting banned in like every city. And it's just crazy how much they're dropping. You can see over here, it says Airbnb reports continued deceleration in nights and experiences both. Like, I don't think Airbnb will go anywhere, but it's not really going to be, it's not really a money maker anymore, right? Like a lot of people try to make businesses out of Airbnb, but it's a bubble. Like I told everybody who like was going into Airbnbs that it was a bad idea. And it's just like, I'm glad I didn't go into it, because I was actually going to go into Airbnbs like years ago too. I was going to buy like a bunch of condos in like San Diego and just rent them out, like in the high rises. But I have some people that do that, and now they're like super deep in the hole. It's crazy. Yeah, Kenneth said, shit's overpriced now. Might as well go to a hotel. Yeah, exactly, Kenneth. I like going to a hotel because you have everything there, right? You have the amenities, you have gym, you have everything there. It's just nicer. It's a better experience. Versus Airbnb. I think Airbnbs are cool if you're like going with a group, like a big group, and you need a big house. That makes sense. But if you're just going with like you and your significant other, or just maybe a few people, hotels for sure would be better. Yeah, Kenny said, yeah, I was working for an Airbnb startup before the pandemic, and we went under. We were on our Series C of funding round, 15 mil. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Airbnb was a good idea, but I knew regulation was going to come in because you can't compete with the hotels, right? The hotels are going to lobby the government. Especially like over there in San Diego, Kenny. Like remember where I used to live right there in San Diego, like at Ava, they call it Lit now. I don't know if you've seen it. They changed my building where I used to live in when you were living down there. They call it Lit now. But the big high rise like Pinnacle and stuff. We were gonna get like a couple of units out there and just rent them out. But it's a good thing we did it because even though San Diego is one of the Airbnb friendly cities, it's like people aren't even staying there anymore. I'd rather stay at the hotels. Yeah, D said it's extra fees that they allow for the host to charge. Yeah, like the cleaning fee and all that stuff. It's crazy, right, D? Yeah, Daniel said I hate Airbnbs. I never clean every time I go, and he has to clean it before he leaves. Yeah, that's crazy too. Kenny said weights and regulations mainly due to tenants complaining nearby. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't want to live anywhere where people are Airbnb either, because you'll have like random people living, like showing up to like being your neighbor for like the weekend, and you don't know who's going to be there. Also, like the parties and stuff, that stuff's crazy. Like all the people getting like shot and stuff at those parties, like in NorCal. It's just a horrible idea. No. Anyways, guys, I know we went off track there, but there's nothing for us to take here. The volatility is starting to die down a little bit. Don't worry. I'm still looking at the charts here. The main thing I'm looking for is a buy signal. So we're looking for a buy signal here. We don't have a buy signal yet, so there's nothing that can set up. We currently have a bearish trend. You can see prices below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. This indicates that price is in a bearish trend, right? So in order for us to take an entry here, we need to look for a sell. But in order for us to look for a sell, we need to get a buy signal to confirm retracement. And then we need to get a sell signal to confirm continuation. So buy signal to retrace, sell signal for continuation, retracement, and then entry. That's where we're going to make our entry when price comes back down. But yeah, there's just nothing for us to take here. We're just passing time really, guys. It's 7:19 right now. So I'm hoping we get one more entry before market close. I think if we get one more entry, it'll push us back into profit for the week with regard to the official results. Just a reminder, guys, the official results are only the trade that I take care of the live session that I personally take myself. There's a lot of trades that I've marked up which hit and some of that didn't hit, but the only ones that are counting are the ones that I actually take myself, like meaning the ones that I take a screenshot of and I actually have profit to show for it, right? Because like, for example, today we have like a bunch of liquidity pushes here that hit. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 entries that hit right here. I'm not going to count any of these wins here. I'm only counting the first one because that's the one that I actually took. Everything else here I didn't take. So, even though we have like 5 wins here, there's only one win for today, which is this one. So I just want to be transparent with you guys so that you guys understand that. Because I'm not here to add anything, right? I'm here to be as transparent with you guys as possible. Because I want to show you guys that it's possible. If you guys just focus on like 1 or 2 trades a day, you guys can be successful trading. You don't have to take like 5, 10 trades. I know you guys see a couple people in the group who post up like a bunch of trades here. Like for example, like I don't want to like CERN over here. I don't want to point CERN out, but CERN took a little too many trades here for my liking personally. He took a smaller risk here. He took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You don't have to take 11 trades to be successful, right? There's some days where CERN takes like 1 or 2 trades and he does great. Sisuk over here as well. He took about 1, 2, 3, 4 trades, made 4,000 for the day. That's good too. But just a reminder, you guys don't have to take that many trades. You guys can take 1 or 2 trades, like Andreas over here. He took 2 trades here. Technically 1 trade. This looks like this wasn't even an actual trade. It was just an accident. But this one over here, Andreas took it, and then he logged in a total profit of 1,000, right? I think 1,000 a day is more than enough than what most people need. If you guys want to do the math, like for example, I would show this to new people because realistically, if you have a like 1 200K account or 1 100K account, you can make at least like 500 to you can make at least 500 a day or 300 to 500. So for example, a lot of people, their goal is to make 100,000 a day, right? You just need to reverse engineer it. So type in 100,000 right here. How many months are in a year? There are 12 months. You divide that by 12. You need to make 8,333 a month. That's it. 8,333 a month. You just divide this again by 4 weeks, because there's 4 weeks in a month, that's 3,333 a week, right? That's not that bad. If you take 3 trades a week, you maybe probably get this much, or 3 or 5 trades a week. Again, if you want to take it down even further, there's 5 days in a week, right? So you divide that by 5. Oh shit, sorry, my bad. It's 3,333 divided by 5. So you need to make 666 a day, basically, right? If you look at everyone's profits here, like Maria, she's basically halfway there. She's at 300. Shiva over here is already at 1,000. Andreas over here is at 1,000. Patricia here is multiple thousands, right? So that's what I'm just trying to get across to you guys. Like, you guys don't need to take like a bunch of trades. You can take like 1 or 2 trades, just make close to the amount that you're looking for. And you just got to reverse engineer it. So for example, if you're on say you're on a 100K account. For me, when I'm taking 1 trade on a 100K account, I'm making about 1,000 per trade, right? I made a lot more today, but this is because of slippage, but typically it'd be like about 1,000. So if you do 1 trade a day and it's a winner, which most of the time it's going to be a winner if you trade with me here, it just adds up. And then by the end of the week, you should have enough to like get closer to your goal. By the end of the month, you'll be closer to your goal. And then you just reset. Every month you try to reach that goal. We did the math over here. Each month you just have to make 8,000 a month, basically, which is not very difficult. It looks like a big number, but if you break it down to the smaller numbers here, it's not that bad. Divided by 12, divided by 4, divided by 5. Actually, it's only 416. Sorry, guys, my math sucks. You only need 416 a day to make 100K a year, because we trade Monday through Friday. So if you take 1 trade a day and make at least $400 or 416, you'll be closer to your goal of making 100K a year from trading. So yeah, just keep that goal in mind, guys. If you guys want to make 100K, just keep that number in your head. You need to make about 416 a day, which is not difficult. If you guys just calculate your lot sizes, you guys can make at least 1,000 a day on a 100K account. And then if you're on a 50K account, you can make 500 a day with just 1 trade. You just use a 50 lot, you go for 100 pips, and then you lock in $500 a day. You just take 1 trade with me every day. Make your profit, be done, reset, go do whatever you need to do, come back the next day and do the same thing over and over again. So it's just about consistency, guys. It's really just about consistency. And if you guys can keep it up, and if you guys need someone to support your consistency, just, talk in the group. If you guys chat in the group, or if you guys even message me directly, I'll keep you on point with your consistency. My goal here is really just to get you guys consistent. My goal is not to make you $1 million. My goal is not to make you $1,000 or whatever. My goal is just to give you consistency. Because once you have consistency, you can just keep repeating the process, repeat the routine every single day. And the profits will just be automatic at that point. Let's see. Yeah, Andrew said a pullback hit right here. It's not a pullback I would take yet, but yeah, the pullback did hit right there if you were looking for that one right there, Andrew. I think that one right there is a little too risky because the confirmation hasn't really, the trend hasn't confirmed yet. We have the bullish momentum here. Price did cross above the pivots, but the pivots weren't really angling up yet. The trend meteor down below is still also red. If it was blue, I would have maybe have taken it, but I probably wouldn't have taken it at this point right here specifically. Yeah, also Andrew said it's close to open price. So what I'm looking for here, guys, is price is pushing back up. This is completely fine. I don't mind that price is pushing up right here. What I'm looking for now is I'm looking for price to retrace back a little bit. So I need price to push up, confirm the direction. And then once it confirms the direction, I'm going to look for entry. So I'm looking for price to push up a little bit higher, retrace, and continue. If I get that right there, then great. I'm going to look for that buy position right there. And I'm going to take that for a quick profit. But again, it's just going to be a matter of patience, guys. I just got to wait for this here to confirm. So if we don't need the trend meter, just keep that in mind, guys. You don't need the trend meter to confirm it. You need to make sure that the pivots are actually, fanning out. So what you want here is you want level 4, which is a red pivot. You want this red pivot to be below all the other pivots. So if the red pivot's below all of them, then if price retraces, then I'm okay with looking for possible entry. Not right now specifically, but it's getting to that point. You can see every candle here that moves along, this red pivot is getting closer and closer to being below all the other pivots. So like whenever you guys want to look for the pivots with regard to direction, you just want to make sure that the red pivot is below all of them. If the red pivot's below all of them, then buys are okay. If the red pivot is above it, above all of them, level 4, then you're okay with taking sells here, right? You guys can see how obvious it is. Red pivot's above all of them, everything's fine. You can take sells here. When the red pivot's below all of them, then you'll be okay with taking buys here. The trend meter is a little bit slower, so the trend meter is not really necessary. It's a good confluence, but it's not necessary. So, all right, prices are tracing back down right here a little bit. The red pivot still isn't below all of them, so I'm still not looking for any possible entries. I will look for a possible opportunity here, but I'm not going to necessarily look for entry just yet. I'm just going to get my order here set up just in case, in case we get any opportunities here, but I'm not necessarily looking to enter just yet. So let's see, I think the entry probably happened around the 20 mark. So 35,420. So I'm not looking for entry yet, guys. Again, I need that red pivot to be below all of them. So level 4 needs to be below all of them. That's going to indicate that price is starting to make a stride to the upside. Once we have that, I can look for possible opportunity. So it's still not there yet. It's almost there, but it's not there yet. So I need price to push up a little bit higher. I want price to push up a little bit higher, maybe to this next level. It doesn't matter where, but anywhere above where it's currently at. And then look for the retracement and then entry from there. The volatility is starting to die down a little bit too. It's currently at 18. So technically, I'm hoping price continues to push up. If it doesn't push up, technically the entry should be right here. I'm not taking it, but I'm just going to mark it up for you guys there. I need it to push up a bit further. It's not at that level yet where I need it to be at. So it's okay. If this here plays out, it's fine. It's not going to be considered an entry for me yet. I'm going to wait for the next one anyways. Or just following it here. So again, we're just looking for this red pivot to be below all of them right there. Okay, so the red pivot slightly below. Slightly below, it's like barely crossing right there. And you can see right here, it does hit TP, it looks like, almost. Yes, the red pivot's below. All right, so the next time that price ends up pulling back, I'll be looking for possible entry. So I'm looking for the retracement like I have marked up right here. Nothing's changed. I'm still looking for the same setup. Looking for price to push up, pull back, and then entry. So 30 mark right there, and above that's gonna be the 40 mark. All right, perfect. Trend meter is now green. Like I mentioned earlier, I said if price reaches this point, it's probably gonna turn green. You can see right there, shifting from red to blue to green. You can see that the trend meter is a little bit laggier, but you can see that now the red pivot's below all the other pivots. It's starting to set up nicely. All right, so now I'm just looking for the retracement. Once I get the retracement right here, I'll be looking for possible entry. So if we get a red candle right there, entry probably at this 40 mark. Probably at this 50 mark now. So you can see over here, price is trying to get back up to this level of liquidity. It's not there yet, but it's trying to push up to that level right there. Here is the clean chart. Again, right here, you can see it's trying to reach that next level again. So price is pushed up right here. It's probably going to push up to that next level over there. So you guys can see our different patterns here, right? It's the same thing that happened pretty much for the past couple of days. Price pushes up, retraces back a little bit, and then it just continues climbing. So here goes a retracement right here. Let's see how this candle here closes. I think this here might be a little too close. The 60. All right, there's a couple issues here. So price is obviously overextended right here. It's up 1,260 pips. So that's going to be a little bit of a red flag. It's not necessarily going to deter me from taking any entries here because this is the 1 minute, like I mentioned before. I don't care too much about the 1 minute overextension. I care more so about the 5 minute. The 1 minute, not so much, because the thing is, like, price can retrace down a little bit and we're only going for 100 pips. So it's not necessarily a huge drop in the bucket. So right here, we're waiting for that retracement. Once we get that retracement, then possible entry. We're just looking for a red candle. Once we get the red candle, then great. We don't have that red candle yet. $60. All right, the good thing here is the volatility is picking back up. It's back at 19. It was at like 17, 18 earlier. The only thing that I'm worried about here is the overextension. That's my main concern. And if price ends up getting to this upper level over here, then I'm probably going to skip it, to be honest, because once it gets to this level over here where it's like up here, it's kind of too high for me. It's like at that point, it's too overextended. Yeah, Kenny said it's too overextended for him. It's a little bit too overextended for me too. At the 70 mark. Yeah, it's a little overextended. I don't think I'm gonna take it on my top step. I'll probably watch and I'll follow through to see if this here ends up bouncing around. So if you guys are taking it, I'm not in the position, unfortunately. I was thinking about it too much. This here would be the entry though. But yeah, price is very overextended at this point. So I'm skipping this one myself. I'm not in this position. It kind of sucks. This is what we've been waiting for pretty much all session, but the movement of price today is just not necessarily too stable. It keeps bouncing back and forth. I mean, this will probably hit CP, but I'm not, I've already made my profit from the liquidity push earlier that I don't want to throw it away. Taking a risky trade here. We're following it right here, but I'm not in this position. So if it hits, I'm not going to count it, of course. I'm only counting the trade that I actually take myself. And the volatility dies down a bit. Yep, full TP. Sorry, guys. I was just thinking too much about that position. I should have just taken it, but it's okay. There's no need to dwell on it. But yeah, it hit TP. So you guys can see the strategy still works fine. It's just there's some situations where your trade psychology will still take control of like what you're looking at. Because I would have taken the trade here, but I just didn't have the opportunity to take that leap. I was going to take it on my MT4, but it's just this overextension was it's just too much for me. Yeah, Andrew said based off the week, it'll probably go back to open soon. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Andrew. That's another thing that I was worried about because as I mentioned earlier, price is overextended. And what Andrew mentioned is that, so there's one of two scenarios here that can play out. Price will either continue climbing to the upside or it's going to push right back down to opening price, right? And if you guys have been following the market for the past couple of days, that's basically what's been happening. A lot of fake outs will happen here. And it'll either go in one direction or the other. And at this point, I'm basically trading scared, right? You guys already know that feeling and you guys know how it is. When you're trading scared, it's better to just not trade. If you guys are not feeling comfortable and you don't feel confident about your entry, then the best thing to do is just to not take the trade. I didn't feel very confident about that position there, so I didn't take it, even though it did hit. I didn't take it because I didn't feel confident. I think if today was not NFP and if it also wasn't Friday, I would have been more okay with taking the position because then I'll have another day to make it back, right? So say, for example, I took this trade and it lost, and I'm like, okay, it's fine. I have another day or I have another 2 days in the market to make this trade back. But this week's kind of been a bit messy for us. Like, so I mean, basically all the trades that we lost this week were because of my mistakes. Like yesterday, we lost a trade. It was my mistake because I didn't wait for the retracement like we needed to. And we just ended up getting into it early and it ended up reversing on us. But we pulled out early for a small loss, thankfully. So it wasn't a big loss. But other than that, yeah, I mean, this week in general has kind of just been a little bit of a tricky week to trade in. It's NFP, so it's expected to be tricky, and it's also summer. I can't wait for fall. So if you guys haven't traded in the summer before, and this is your first time trading, these conditions are normal. Like the unusual dead markets, like I think Monday and Tuesday was pretty dead. That's normal. Today, the market's very volatile because it's NFP. So this is normal for summer season. When we enter the fall, so the fall is going to happen in a month from now. Today's August 4th. We have a month till September. When September rolls around, the volatility is going to pick back up because that's when a lot of people are back into the market and they're back from vacation. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are looking to, or if you guys think the market's too difficult, you're right. The market is difficult right now in the summer, but it's going to pick back up. It'll get easier once we get into the fall because volatility will be about a bit higher, and it'll be easy for us to catch these pushes. But right now, we just don't have that opportunity because typically, generally when the market's moving in the fall, you're going to see a lot of this type of movement. Price will push up, retrace, push up, retrace. That's good because every time price retraces, we make entry at every time price comes down, right? Price comes down, entry, price comes down again. Entry, right? The problem with the market right now is that this type of movement isn't happening, right? You get a lot of weird movement. Like for example, today, like, so this right here, right? Price just goes straight up, doesn't even retraces slightly, and it just keeps climbing. That, or you get something like this where price will push up and then it just goes sideways for a really long time. Push up, fake out, consolidation comes down, and it comes right back up, right? There's not really much of a direction here. Price just keeps going back and forth. And that's not the type of market that you want to trade in, especially if you're a trend trader, right? We're trend traders here. So if anybody ever asks you like how you trade, what's your trading style? For one, we're scalpers, we're scalper day traders. And then also on top of that, we're momentum trend traders. So we trade in the direction of trend and the direction of momentum. That's basically our style of trading. So the thing with that is that there's trend and momentum from time to time, but then sometimes you get these dead periods like this right here. You get this here and you can't trade because there's no trend and there's momentum, but there's no trend. And then for example, again, down here, there's momentum, but there's no trend. So our ideal market is going to be like this right here. So this isn't our ideal market. Our ideal market is going to be something like this right here. And then something like this right here when price is just moving directional. So market opened over here at 630. We had a couple opportunities there, but the buy signal never came back to retrace. So we couldn't take anything here, even though this was our type of market. And then again, right here, we had a buy signal, price pushed up. Unfortunately, we didn't take the trade here because it was too risky. But this is the type of market conditions that we're looking for when we're looking to make entries. So yeah, I mean, if anybody ever asks you like, what's your style of trading? We're momentum trend traders. And then if people ask you like, what type of trading do you do? We scalp. That's what we do for the most part. Because there's three different types of traders. There's scalpers, there's day traders, and there's swing traders, right? Those are the main ones. And then also, of course, long-term investors. So we're in between day trading and scalping. I probably would never swing trade, to be honest. I probably would never go off swing trading. A lot of people always ask me if I can swing trade. I can swing trade because these strategies still work for swing trading. It's just that they take forever for them to hit. Like if you wanted to trade on the 4-hour, which I do, if I swing trade, I trade on the 4-hour. Like if you wanted to trade on the 4-hour, you can see there's a lot of entries here. You can just apply the intraday strategy. right there. But you can see these trades take forever to hit. Like if I was to take this trade right here, this trade would take almost 2 days to hit, which not my style. All right, so price is now at that level right there. So this is the level that I was referring to earlier, that high point. So you guys can see I drew up the scenarios here. It can either go back to open or it'll continue climbing here. Looks like price just decided to climb instead of coming back down. So at this point right here, it doesn't look like we have anything to take right now specifically. So, all right, if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Unfortunately, it does not look like we're going to have another entry here. It's 7:42 right now. We have about 18 minutes till 8. I mean, we can get a retracement, but from where price is currently at right now, I think price may reverse back down. You can see it better over here because we have a double top now at this point. I mean, we might not. There could be one of two things happen here. Either it's a double top and price comes back down and pushes back to open, or this is a fake out. Price fakes out and decides to climb up higher. So it kind of depends on like sentiment here. Sorry, I was reading a message over there. Sentiment right now is currently 75% short. So I do think price will probably climb up higher. This fake out here might happen. It might not happen right now, but I think eventually that's like one thing to look out for. So one thing to look out for here, actually, so looks like price came up and retested that area, but didn't necessarily break through. So I think if price does break above here, it'll probably continue climbing. So that's like something to maybe look out for if you guys are continuing to trade. ATR is down low now, it's back to 15. So you can see the volatility is kind of dying out a little bit. Earlier it was at like 17, 18, closer to 20. You can see right here it was at 22, 20, 23, 19, 18, 17. So you can see the volatility started to die down. It started over here at like 25, then it got slower, 22, 23, went back to 24, 22, and now it's currently at 15. So, I mean, there's still opportunity here to make entry if you guys are looking to trade, but you guys can see that the volatility here starts to die down a little bit. So, I mean, if there's any other questions that you guys have or anything that you guys want me to review, feel free to let me know. Just a heads up, guys, I want to give you guys a heads up now because I'm going to be busy next week. So next week, I'm going on vacation. I'm going to Puerto Vallarta, and I'll be there for the weekend. I don't know how long. I might be there from like Thursday till Monday. I don't know how the internet connection is out there. So I'll try to, well, I'm going to bring my laptop. So I'll see if we can trade there. I'll probably trade here with you guys up until Thursday or Friday. And then Monday, I might have to trade there in the morning. But I'll let you guys know. So I just want to give you guys a heads up for next week because I'm going on vacation. I can't remember if my flight's on Thursday or Friday, but we're gonna trade. We're gonna trade normally throughout the week. It's just towards the end of the week, I'm probably not going to be able to do what we normally do here. So just heads up, I'm gonna be there for the weekend. I try to schedule it where I'm not there during trading days, but obviously you know how vacation works. It never really works out the way you plan. All right, so price is retracing right here. There goes the liquidity push. So if you guys look for the liquidity push, we had this drawn up earlier. I mentioned if you guys waited for the retest, it's going to probably blast through at that point, and that's exactly what happened. So right here, price came down, came back for that retest right there, and went straight to TP. So I'm not sure if anybody caught this liquidity push over here, but this is the one that we were waiting for earlier today. All right, so if that's the case, you guys can see here, I drew this up right here. Sentiment's still very high on the sell side. It's now even higher. It's 76% short. I think price will continue climbing. Yeah, they're going to stop those people out. Maybe not by today, but I think maybe or maybe by the end of the session, they'll probably, I think price will at least get to somewhere above here. I don't think price is going to come all the way back down. I think it's going to stop these people out because it went from 75 to 76. So I think this 1% of retail traders who hopped on the sell side, they're going to go and get stopped out. Not a lot of them, but it's probably going to push up to this area right here to stop people out. So you guys see how it's tricky right here? It faked out. So basically price came right here. It faked out for the double top. This is why I don't like to trade patterns. See how there's a double top? Let me just replay it. So you guys can see here how there's a double top, right? If you guys see this, everybody thinks price is going to come down. So what do you think happens? They fake them out, right? Price goes down a little bit. People are like, oh yeah, this is a double top. I'm going to hop into the sell. So what happens all the time is people will enter a sell right here. And where do they place their stop loss? They place it like right above it, right? They try to place your stop loss right there because they want to be safe. They want to go for like a 1 to 5 or whatever risk reward, something like that, right? That's usually how a lot of people trade. I don't trade like a lot of people. I trade opposite of everybody. So like if everybody here is looking for a sell, I'm looking for a buy. I had this marked up here. And what do you think happened? These people here just got stopped out, right? They entered that there, they get stopped out. Price comes back down. And what do you think happens here again? So these people got stopped out. And I think what will happen here is they might drop price slightly below this zone. So they'll drop price a little bit below it. Like they'll just come down slightly below right here. And when it closes, when this red candle here closes below the zone, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to enter another sell, right? And they're going to do the same thing. They're going to enter another sell there. And then as soon as they enter their sell, price is going to come down a little bit. And it's going to come right back up and stop them out. Like I've been trading for so long that I've seen these traps come up so often that I never fall for them. I just do the opposite. If I see people here looking for a sell, I'm going to do the opposite and buy because I think they're going to get stopped out. So right here, it's the same thing that I just mentioned. See how this red candle is closing below? If it closes below, I think a lot of people are going to think that this is going to be a confirmation that price is going to come down. But I'm expecting this to be a fake out. So I think this right here might consolidate around this area a little bit. And it'll come back up and stop them out again. And then maybe come back down. I always find it interesting because, the thing with trading is that there's always new people trading. So when new people are trading and they're trading this way, the market makers, I'm pretty sure they're just like, they're laughing right now. Like they're just like, they're like in their little office with everybody and everyone's just like look at these retail traders thinking price is going to come down. And then it's like us too, because we already see this happening and see where price is going. I'm sure whoever entered the sell right here, they're sweating right now crazy because they're like, damn, I shouldn't have entered that stupid trade. And the trade's going to come up and they're going to stop them out. They're going to be so pissed off because, and I'm sure this has happened to you guys before. You guys enter a trade and it looks so good. And you're like, oh, it's a double top. It has to come down, right? And it doesn't. It does the complete opposite. So you see price break below structure right there. And this is why I don't like trading. Like a lot of people like to trade break and retest. This is a break and retest pattern right here, right? So price came above, retested. So basically it's a fake out in both directions. So check this out right here. So for one, let me just show you the fake. There's a lot of fake outs here that played out. So price closed above the structure right there, right? This candle right here broke below. So this is a break and retest of what people are looking for. Price comes up, it retests right there. People then enter the sell position right here. And then they get stopped out, right? And then they get stopped out in this direction too. So people trade break and retest there. And then again, right here, you can see price breaks above. There goes a retest again, like what people look for. They look for that break and retest. And then what happens here? People do the same thing. They try to enter a position in the other way. So they enter another buy position right here. Their stop loss is right there. And then they get stopped out again. So it's just the same thing. It's like the same pattern of people they keep getting stopped out. Again, right here, price broke below. Price broke below, retest. Stop loss again right there. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if people come back, if this comes back up and stops them out again. So I'm banking on this to push back up right here and basically stop those people out again. It's just, you know, they keep stopping people out, but you can't keep doing it forever. Like they can't just keep stopping everybody out, because if they do that, people won't want to trade anymore. They'll think the game is rigged, which it is rigged in a sense, but it's rigged in a sense that we know how to read this and we don't get caught in these fake outs, because there's so many ways to get faked out here. And, you know, I've been trading for like 10 years now. So I've been seeing these patterns play out every day. And look right here where price is going. So the people right there who enter that break and retest, they're about to get stopped out again when price pushes up there. And it's no surprise. That's why I never trade how beginners trade. If you guys ever like sign up for a beginner traders course, they try to teach you this basic stuff. They try to teach you double tops. They try to teach you break and retest. But realistically, that stuff, I mean, it works in some instances, but a lot of times they don't work, especially not on the lower time frames. So I wouldn't be surprised if price pushes up right here and then basically stops those people out again. All right, so we have price pushing back up right here. We do have the sell signal. We're looking for a buy signal right here. Once that buy signal closes, I'll be looking for you know, possibility of entry right here. So it's 7:53. We're getting closer to 8. So at this point, I'm not sure if we'll get an entry. The volatility is kind of low, but there may be possibility of entries as price continues to push up higher from where it's currently at. Let's see, Marston's asking, is there any movie available in your course to learn details of liquidity push? If you review the mentoring sessions, Marston, that's where it's pretty much explained. It wasn't a strategy that I planned on really teaching to people, because it's like people try to copy my strategies. That's like one thing I didn't like, how people would try to copy and try to make it their own. But I'll probably make a video at some point. There's an older video for liquidity push, or just liquidity in general. We didn't call it liquidity push back then. We just called it liquidity. But I think you can learn the most from the mentoring sessions. So I'm not sure which videos. Does anybody here remember the last time I spoke about? Actually, you can watch the most recent ones. Okay, so CJ said to check out the and I'll pull it up right here. Let me see. Yeah, Marcin. So thanks, CJ. Yeah, CJ, he knows exactly which ones. He gave you the dates right there. So let me see. He said 4/18, so like basically April 18. And I'll send them to you right here too, Marcin. I think I saw you in the group, or I remember seeing you. If you message me, or I'll send them to you, Marcin. Just message me on Telegram. Or here's an easier thing. Just go over here to just go to the YouTube channel. So go to youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades. Click on live right here. Or actually just go over here, go to home. And then go down to mentoring sessions. Click on this right here. It's going to give you an entire playlist. So right here, just go down to the date that CJ mentioned. So CJ mentioned April 18th. So just go to the playlist here. Go down to April 18th. Just click on that one. It's going to be a pretty like. I think these are better for you to learn because I explain the strategy, plus I give you examples. So basically go from April 18th and up. So April 18th, 25th, and the 1st. Basically, these three right here are deep in detail. I also covered it in, I think, the last mentoring session and the mentoring session before that, because I know Shiv asked about it and I went in detail about the liquidity push. So. And then again, if you want to learn directly, just go to the next mentoring session, Marcin, and I'll explain it to you one-on-one. So I can show you how it's done. I'll show you examples so that you can understand it like on the actual chart versus just watching a video. Because it's harder for you to like watch someone else's explanation versus me telling you like, okay, this is where you mark it up. And then you can ask me some follow-up questions from there as well. But yeah, so that's about it right there. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, looks like it's getting close to 8 o'clock. The volatility is pretty much dead right now. There's not too much going on as price goes sideways. So it's not looking like we're going to have any entries here available at this specific moment. So if there's anything else that you guys want me to cover, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, it looks like we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon. If this buy signal here closes, I think price will push up a bit higher. This will be considered a pivot scalp entry, because I think price will push up to pretty much stop these people out who are looking to chase it for the most part. I mean, basically people who chase the break and retest down below. So you guys can see I marked this up. I marked this up and I said, okay, if people chase this right here, it's probably going to stop them out. If they chase it down, the break and retest below. All right. So if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. I don't think there's going to be any entries for us right now. For the momentum pullback scalp, we were looking for a possible entry right here, but this candle dropped too low. So what we needed to happen right here is we needed price to actually push up and go this way. This thing pulled back way too far, so it's obviously not going to be one for us to take there, right? So, all right, guys, Ben Harvey, we'll see you back here tomorrow, or sorry, next week. Have a great weekend. If there's any other questions that you guys have, put them in right now. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. Looks like Kenny's done. So Kenny said done for the day. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it, bro. Definitely, Kenny. I think there's a couple more profits here to take a look at. Let's see, Andrew over here. Yeah, he said yesterday's session just kept going back to open. Yeah, exactly. That's how it was moving yesterday. And that's kind of how I see it happening today too. They'll probably come back down eventually. Cameron over here locked in a total profit of 2,355 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Cameron. So solid profits right there. Vincent said, Yoshan, thanks for recommending Trading in the Zone. Such a great book. Totally changed the way I think when I'm trading and everything else about trading itself. Gonna read the next one. Yeah, one good trade. So yeah, guys, if you guys are looking for a book to read, Trading in the Zone is going to be number one. The next book would be One Good Trade. And then after that, you can do your Daily Trading Psychologist. That's like those are the three main books that I would recommend. Here's some more profits from Kip. Kip locked in a total profit of 2,858 for the day. All wins here. Nice work, Kip. Yeah, you did pretty good. Not bad for a Monday. It looks like a lot of you guys here profited. I don't think anybody here lost today. Today's pretty good day to profit, especially I can see a lot of people losing today because of NFP, but it looks like everybody here locked in some pretty good profit. We've got Kenneth over here as well. Kenneth locked in a total profit of 1,950 for the day. So nice work right there, Kenneth, on your top step. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to take any trades on my top step today, but I did take trades on all of my FTMO and MFF accounts. So pretty much all wins on my end. So if you added my profits for the day, here, let's see, let's just do this one last time and then we're going to wrap it up. So I locked in 1,660 on my first account, 2,060 on my second account, 1,560 on my third account, total profit of 2,360 on my fourth account. That's a lot of profit already just for one trade today. Here's my MFF, 1510, 1510, oops, whatever, 1510. All right, the total profit of 12,000 for the day, not bad. For just one trade, I took one trade for the liquidity push, just this one trade right here. And this is what I mean, guys. So if you guys are able to do very well and you guys can just add multiple accounts, like I have like 7 accounts here now. I have 4 FTMO accounts. Before I had 2 200K accounts. Now I split them up into 4 100K accounts. It's working pretty nice in my favor because I made way more profit today than I normally would with them split up like that. And then also on top of that, I have my MFFs down here as well. So that's all the profit that I locked in for today. I just took one trade with you guys, did it all live. I have the profit to show for it. Everything was done real time. And yeah, I'll pretty much wrap it up. I don't need to force anything, so I'm pretty much good for the day. Other than that, all right, guys, have a great weekend. CJ, Andreas, Maria, Shannon, Marcin, everybody who popped into the chat. And I'll see you guys back here on Monday. So have a great weekend, guys. Be safe. And I'll see you guys back here